All right, I got a 22 caliber watermelon shoot for you here today. We're going to hit these with 22 long rifle, 22 Magnum, 22 TCM, and then 223. Yes, I wish I had a 22 Hornet and a 22 250 and all that, but this is what we have here today. I guess you could also throw the 5.7 by 28 in there, but the 22 long rifle is going to be a 40 grain bullet going at about 1,300 feet a second. 22 Magnum is going to be a 40 grain bullet going at about 1,900 feet per second. The 22 TCM is a 40 grain bullet going about 2,800 feet per second. And then for the 223, I got a 55 grain going about 3,200 feet per second. So since Armscor is the only ones who make the ammunition for the 22 TCM, and the fact that I had 22 long rifle and 22 mag in Armscor already, I figured we'd go ahead and do all Armscor except for the very last one, the 223. Not only could I not find any Armscor 223, but they do not offer a hollow point, so we're sticking all hollow point with this. So there's their 22 long rifle hollow point, again 40 grain at about 1,300 feet a second. There's their 22 Magnum hollow point, again 40 grain at about 1,900. There's the 22 TCM 40 grain hollow point, and again this is not Armscor, but this is a 55 grain 223 hollow point. So these are mostly all the same size. You know, there's a couple that are a tad smaller here, so I'm going to use the smallest one for the smallest power level or what have you, and then the largest one for the largest, so that way it's fair. We're not using the smallest one on the biggest or vice versa, anything like that. They're all about the same ripeness. I bought them all yesterday, so they're nice and fresh. Get my targets set up out there so I can see where I need to hold the aim, and we'll be shooting them at about 10-15 yards there. And make sure you stay tuned. I'll have some GoPro footage coming in as well, and some slow motion from down close to the watermelon, but we'll also have the camera up back here as well. All right, here we go with the 22 long rifle. Let's go check it out. Oh, you can see through the other side. I was gonna say it's all hollow in there. That did a pretty good job. Of course, these aren't massive watermelons, but they're not the smallest either. And there's your exit. So that's what the 22 did. Get set up for the 22 mag. All right, 22 mag. I was hoping that at least the 22 mag would hold together, but after seeing what the long rifle did, I was like, I'm pretty sure the mag's gonna pop, and yeah, it sure did. So that's what we get from the 22 mag. But it kind of just split and fell over, so you're gonna see more energy from the 22 TCM and even more from the 223. I know the 223 is gonna throw it pretty good, but let's see what happens with the 22 TCM. All right, here we go with the 22 TCM as soon as I get my ears on. Well, that one definitely popped, and I even had some pieces come back this way. I'm not quite sure how far. I'll say at least to here, like a juice at least, but a bunch came back. Not quite to me though. But I mean, obviously there's not much to look at there, so now we'll try the 223. Should be an even bigger pop. All right, 223. It's a little bit interesting. I don't know if it's because it 22 TCM dumped its energy right away, completely fragmented, whereas that 223 carried it through. But the 22 TCM, we had a bunch come back, which would be indicative of that, whereas the 223 just kind of threw it all backwards. So that would be my guess as to what happened. That 22 TCM probably just fragmented on impact, so just complete energy jump, whereas that 223 probably carried a lot of its energy through. So, but yeah, there you have it. Now if we'd use a varmint round from the 223, you know, especially like a little 40 grain ballistic tip or whatever, you know, it would have popped even bigger than the 22 TCM would have, because it would have just dumped all of its energy immediately, like I suspect the 22 TCM did. But I was just trying to use like the, you know, regular type ammo. If we were going all varmint with everything, then I would have used the Stinger or something like that for the 22 long rifle, and would have used 30 grain ballistic tip for the 22 mag. But I didn't do that because I was trying to use, you know, what was typical for each cartridge, and that's what we did. So how about we finish these off with a little bit of 12 gauge number 8 shot. Alright, so that's what you get with 22 long rifle, 22 mag, 22 TCM, and 223. I also did this test with 380, 940, 45. I also did it 22 long rifle, 22 mag versus 17 HMR. I can't remember if I've done shotgun slugs yet, but I've also done more centerfire rifles. We did 223, 7.62 by 39, 270 Winchester, and 450 Bushmaster. So for all that and videos like those, and I've been shooting other stuff too, like, you know, concrete blocks and just various different targets, check out the caliber comparisons playlist on the channel for all those types of videos. If you want to get any of the products you see me using in any of the videos, like my shooting bag there, target stand, paper targets I use, steel targets, and more, links in the description for all that. That'll do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you on the next one.